Hey, how's it going, everyone? Now, this is not going to be like one of my normal videos where I kind of do an intro and tag in all the different articles and all that kind of stuff, because this is happening really, really fast. This has kind of been more on my mind. So this is going to be more of a rebel to you kind of video of just me talking about something that happened recently that I think is very dangerous and crazy, and what we can do to prevent this from happening more in the future. For me personally, I came from Nashville, Tennessee, so I had strong values, strong Christian and patriotic values that I carried with me from my parents. And I moved up to LA, and when I got here, I thought I was going crazy. Like, everyone was telling me things that were completely opposite, like the sky is red basically instead of blue, like just crazy, insane stuff. And so it was looking towards the internet and YouTube and other outlets like this where I found content that could finally verify all my beliefs and give me information that was being hidden or pushed aside in the mainstream news outlets and that sort of thing. And it was where I stumbled onto places like the Rebel Media and other alternative media outlets. It was that gateway that finally gave me the information I needed to combat these different arguments that I knew were wrong out in Los Angeles, like all the statistics and facts that are buried and ignored in the news that I can now use in just everyday conversation. So I knew I wasn't just going crazy. And there's some terrific alternative media news outlets and places on YouTube that have grown and been fantastic over the years. But recently, you've seen YouTube crack down financially on these different institutions by demonetizing things that they deem are hateful or inappropriate or whatever, and it's always geared towards the right, just a way to silence them. But we all knew that this was going to be amped up and it was going to happen more and more. When Twitter started banning people, even though they were banning people that I personally dislike, hate, or disagree with, they were banning people for just speaking a point of view that was contradictory to what is mainstream accepted. Like Milo Yiannopoulos is a famous one who I personally disagree with on so many issues, and other extreme people like Richard Spencer being banned, who I personally hate and don't like at all, but I still didn't think he should be banned just for speaking, because I knew where that would lead. As soon as you give ground to being able to ban people for their speech, this is going to open up a door to everybody being able to do this for any particular reason. And you see this happening now with Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder is a comedian. He does Louder with Crowder and the Mug Club over on YouTube, has some terrific informational videos on guns, and he also does comedy throughout it. And he got banned, or at least suspended he got suspended from Twitter and got his YouTube account suspended for inappropriate content at the South by Southwest thing, which was actually a hilarious video where they crashed a gender non-binary meet and greet with a guy pretending to be a computer, saying that this is who he identified as the computer. It was hysterical, and he got banned for it. You've also seen this happen recently today. Owen Benjamin reached out saying his event got canceled in New York and they're looking for their venues. This is happening constantly. Now, here's the dangerous part of this. If they didn't have YouTube and other platforms like this, these conservative news outlets or these independent news outlets couldn't get the information out. It makes it more acceptable or accessible. They could still post it on their regular websites and direct message things, but it's harder to find, it's hard to get to. You can't reach the same masses. And that's dangerous to see that that's where people can now be led to. It could be just a desert of information on YouTube except for left-wing propaganda nonsense. And that's a really dangerous place to go, because a lot of these places will go out of business. And the best way that you can combat this is for platforms to open up, for people to develop new platforms that are different than YouTube and Twitter, that are open source, that aren't owned by crazy left-wing activists and that sort of thing. And then also going directly to support their various channels through subscription. And this is something that is so important, because I would have never gotten the incredible videos from the Rebel that gave me information that I couldn't have gotten anywhere else, except for people going to the Rebel Media and subscribing directly, because eventually they're going to ban all these videos on YouTube. They're already demonetizing almost all of them, and these direct subscriptions are huge. This is what any of these channels that you enjoy, I highly recommend you subscribe to those so they continue to have the funds and equipment necessary to get all the information out to you, as well as the Rebel Media especially, because I've loved everyone at the Rebel. All their videos they've done over the years have been tremendous. So if you like the content and you want the Rebel to be able to continue to do what it does and continue to reach people like me that are just confused out in LA, please subscribe to the Rebel Media so you can get direct line to all the content, and also some great exclusive content from there too. So I highly encourage you to do that, because this is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. Thanks. If you haven't done it already, you can now download the Rebel Media app. That way you have access to the entire Rebel lineup and can take it with you wherever you go.